there goes. I'm going to read a land acknowledgement before we get started. As we meet virtually while physically dispersed, let us take a moment to reflect on the meaning of place, and in doing so, recognize the various traditional unceded lands we occupy today. The organizers of Portland Zine Symposium are in Portland, Oregon, which is the territory of the Multnomah, Wasco, Cowlitz, Cathlamet, Clackamas, Chinook, Tualatin, Kalapuya, and Molalla tribes, as well as many other unknown or unnamed bands. Let us also acknowledge that we are connecting on a virtual platform. We're privileged to have access to the internet, a resource that is not easily available to US reservations and is out of reach for many low-income people in the US who are disproportionately from Black and Latinx communities. We invite you to join us in acknowledging this, as well as our shared responsibility to make good use of this time. Oh, hi, buddy. And for each of us to consider our role in reconciliation and decolonization. Thank you. And I'm going to turn it over to Emmy at the IPRC. Thanks, Emmy.
Thank you, Sabine. Hi, my name is Emmy. Like Sabine said, I'm from the IPRC, which stands for the Independent Publishing Resource Center. We have been lucky to be partners with the Portland Zine Symposium for a really long time, maybe always, I'm not sure. But yeah, we love to support them. In normal times, a lot of zinesters make their zines at our center. We are in Southeast Industrial Portland. We have computer labs, computers, a screen printing studio, risograph, a letterpress, and yeah, it's a great place for DIY folks to make art. And we also offer workshops and a certificate program as well. Right now, since the pandemic, we're starting to open up appointments, so you can come email me at eo@iprc.org if you want to get in some studio time by appointments too. Yeah, so we're really excited to have a zine share with Meli Nava of Nava Press and Alex Castillo of Brute Works, Martha Grover, and Eileen Chavez. We're gonna start with Alex Castillo, and I will tell you a little bit about them. Alex, she uses she, her pronouns, is an artist, graphic designer, and educator in Chicago. In her work, she experiments with poetic and reimagined text and image, visual structures of comics, and conceptually driven forms. She focuses on language in relation to the hidden parts and possibilities of the self, how we connect with others, and how we grasp reality. Her work is collected in several institutional libraries, including the National Museum of Women in the Arts and the Joan Flash Artist Book Collection. Alex teaches at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, where she received an MFA in Visual Communication Design. Today, she's gonna share 3 different things with us: Endless Distances, Bookmark, and an excerpt from Enchiridion. I might be saying that wrong, but take it away, Alex. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. So my pieces are fairly short, and I'm going to start off with Endless Distances. Let me see if I can get this going. Okay. The woman I love is a warrior. The woman I love is a warrior. Nothing can stop her, and she is on her way to me. Are you so sure? Yes, I must be. Thanks. Can't believe I haven't seen you since the 2 of you got back. Is it everything you hoped? It's you, the one I love. I am a shepherdess. Yes, we still have those in 2088. I got away from the city because I could no longer breathe. In the hills, the sky gets blue nowadays. When I first started, you couldn't tell dirt from air. Alone, I found I often thought of former lovers, not with longing per se. Funny what stays with you and what does not. I preferred sunrises because I liked watching the moon fade away, but no more. That is that entire little book. So the next piece is Bookmark. Bookmark 2, it's a series where I'm taking kind of thoughts or ideas and don't know what to do with them, so I put them in this form of a bookmark-shaped book. Wand 1. It is both what it is and unfathomable. A fleck of nature transformed by cut, stain, skinning, and so on. See the oath-bound book of Honorius, Druidic Pruning, the Internet. Bestowed with unseemly purpose, with power to be power. Its maker, its master. By choosing, she turns it, now channel for her will. Chaos. Another word for unbecoming, for overpowering, for wilding even of the wild, for tempting nature to turn on itself. And so it is a word for corruption against the established, and for siphoning off the Godhead to remold. See Circe's wand, aleatoricism, synchromysticism, animism. Selfishness, perhaps. Never thinking immutably. Wand 2. Some wands. Baton, brush, with or without medium, such as ink or dust. Camera, curling iron. Egyptian artifact, a finger, flashlight, flower. Gavel, gun, hand, fist. Handheld metal detector, icicle, lips. Match, nail, needle, pen. Certain pet toys. Remote, which includes the car key. Screw, screwdriver, spray can, stirrer, which includes cooking chopsticks, spatula, and spoon. Symbol as of power. Talking stick, tuning fork, the primordial twig picked up by rough human to scratch pictures in the dirt and point. Uvula, whip. Various uses. Becoming flowers, change, conjuration, direction, distraction, divination, as through rhabdomancy. Ecstasy, fire-raising, gesticulation, including arcs and stabs, granting, order, punishment, rhythm, signaling as status, smoke, tarot deck, wherein it stands for the action of the will, transfiguration, as into the beautiful state, writing, zapping. Incantation, a collection of disparate things, generating a kind of electricity upon their meeting, speaking to each other, together forming their own new grammar, and remaking their meaning to the world. No, their own mothers wouldn't recognize them. Magic word, like a promise or a vow, that language which itself enacts itself. Wand 3. These words are ink on leaves. These pages are bound. This book is a bookmark. This bookmark is a wand. This wand is a spirit within a spirit, a between in between incanted. Into what do the pages turn? And that is a picture of a twig that I found on the street that inspired the entire piece. And I have one more. So, Enchiridion, which I think is the pronunciation, is a 4-part book that mythologizes the actress Cate Blanchett. And in the middle of the sort of looking at genesis of this figure, that the mythological Cate Blanchett kind of standing for different selves that we carry within ourselves, we break into meeting a completely different character. So that is that small book within the book. We fought more and more. Whenever I thought we might kill each other, I stormed out. I had to go farther and farther each time to find the place where I recognized nothing. Almost nothing. From far off, she appeared colossal. Closer, not so, but she was tall. And her skin had a kind of luster, like a white tattoo. What did she say? I don't know. I'm not a prophet. Maybe it was something like risk and time that forms, or her thoughts on the word circumnavigate. Or maybe she said nothing at all. But in her face, I could read my story, my tight grip on love's legend, on the future's bucking body, on my own breath. When I sighed, she smiled, winked, and left. After a moment, so did I. And that's it for me. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Alex. That was beautiful. It's actually really cool to see the book forms in pictures like that. Also, I was going to ask each reader after you read, oh, does the chat box, it's only going to Sabine? Is that right, Sabine? Is there a way to change that at the end so we can share the reader's contact info or their websites?
If the reader message me, I can send it to everyone.
Okay, cool. That's great. Thank you. Thank you, Alex. That was so beautiful. Next, we have Meli Nava of Navaja Press. She uses she, her pronouns, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Navaja Press. Navaja Press is a publishing and print venture founded by 3 women of color based in the American Southwest. Navaja Press strives to bring forth narratives regarding, but not limited to, intergenerational history, archiving the Latinx diaspora, and translating oral history into visual graphic works. Focusing on highlighting the experience of existing within the margins, they hope to bring visual anthologies to the forefront. Thank you, Meli.
Thank you for that great introduction. I'm going to share my screen. Let me figure out how to do that. Okay. Okay. Pretty sure. Oh, failed to start. Let me see this. Okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay. Gotta love technology, right, guys? Gotta love. Okay. Is it working? Is it full screen or is it?
We don't have full screen right now.
Okay. Let me. Yes, no.
Not yet.
Okay. Let me just try this one more time. Okay. Yes. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So I'll be reading first off Recuerdos, a small little zine about my family and being, I guess, transnational between here and then Mexico. Recuerdos. Okay. 433 miles separate me and where my mother was born. As a child, my weekends were dedicated to 8 hours in the car watching the desert pass me by through the window. My mom tells me that once we arrive, I cannot speak English. I think of downtown, of the booth that sells shrimp cocktails, of the street made of dirt, of my Tio's store that's on the corner, of the candy shop that sells the extra large paletas, of the gorditas that the lady sells in front of the supermarket, of the cement houses that are painted blue, green, and pink, of the smile on my mother's face when she sees her family. But I also think of the bridge, of the enormous lines of people walking, of the men who wash your car windows even if you tell them not to, of the teenagers who walk up and down selling churros, of the sun that hits us as we are crossing to the other side, of the music that I hear from the other cars, of the cameras that inspect what is in our truck, of the official who asks us about our trip, of the face of my father when they asked to pull us over. But then we get to that point where I was allowed to speak English again. The radio station that my dad loves is no longer in range. The Bien Viaje sign fades away from my sight. Years have passed. We don't go as often. But I still think and grow hungry for the shrimp cocktail on La Calle Cartagena. So that was the first one, which is Recuerdos. I'm gonna pull up the next one, which is Las Botas de mi Padre. Okay, trying to, screen share is so weird for me. I don't know why it's doing all this, but okay. Okay, I guess it's not doing what I need it to do. Okay, is it, okay, sorry guys, I'm so sorry.
Hey, we're with you.
Okay, trying to do, okay, share, and is it full screen? It's full screen on mine.
No, it's not.
Okay, one more time. Okay,
Here it is.
There, perfect. I don't know why this is formatted as single pages, but it's meant to be 2 pages. This is Las Botas de mi Padre, which translates to the boots of my father. I'll be translating it into English, kind of like the same theme of history and labor and family. So I'll get on with that. Oh shoot, let me move that. Monday to Friday at 3:30, my dad gets home from work. He walks into the door, beads of sweat on his forehead falling onto his mustache. His mustache is really itchy. My job is to take off his boots, and yes, they smell. They're so dirty and full of mud. My little hands struggle to take them off, and I fall as soon as I get it done. I now have to take off his wet socks, and I leave his favorite sandals off to the side. To work and to dance. His boots are now at the side of the sofa until my mom moves them. But if it wasn't for her, they'd be there until the next morning. The boots of my father have gone from the hills of the bridge until the desert of Phoenix, but his feet are not tired. Without a doubt, they go on, today, tomorrow, and the day that is to come. My dad likes to ride horses, to sing corridos with the sun hitting his face. He likes to scream and call for the cows that are going towards the lake. He loves how green the hills of Zacatecas are in the month of August. But these days, my dad settles for the radio and his Chevy Silverado of 1980, with sitting on the porch with a beer in his hand, watching the sunset, with singing corridos in the living room, wearing his sombrero. A 1,194 miles separate Phoenix and the bridge. When we're in Mexico, my dad stays watching through the windows of the shoe stores. He looks at prices, he asks about deals, and more than anything else, he makes comments boot styles. He hates the new styles of the Hirasanas with the square toe. He prefers a round toe. Sharp toe, round toe, oval toe. I ask for his preference because one of these days I'm going to buy him his own pair. I will take him to Jerez so he can pick the exact pair he wants, and maybe we can eat a shrimp cocktail on the corner. And that's it.
Thank you, Melly. It was really beautiful. Let's see. And such beautiful pictures of your family.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Let's see. Next, we have Martha Grover. Their pronouns are she, her. Martha Grover is an author, poet, and artist living here in Portland, Oregon, or here for me, I should say. She is the author of One More of the People, Perfect Day Publishing, and The End of My Career, also from Perfect Day Publishing. The End of My Career was a finalist for the Oregon Book Awards in Creative Nonfiction in 2017. Her work has also appeared in the Collages, Volume 1, Brooklyn, and the Portland Mercury, among others. She has been publishing her zine, Somnambulist, since 2003. Martha is currently at work on a fantasy novel. When she's not writing, Martha is making zines, art, and selling real estate. Today, she's going to be sharing Somnambulist number 15.
Hello. Everyone hear me okay? So this is a zine I did in 2008. I got really sick. I'd have a lot of chronic illness, and I got really sick for the first time, diagnosed with Cushing's disease, and I had to move back in with my parents when I was 28. And I come from a really big family. I have 6 sisters and 1 brother. And at this point, there was 4 siblings, other siblings living at home. So my dad made us meet every Sunday to have a family meeting. And so I started taking the minutes, excuse me. And so this has been my most, probably one of anyway, my most successful issues. And when I read from the zine, I usually read like some of the first meeting minutes just to give you a feel. But I wanted to do something different today because I don't get to read this zine very much, but it's actually the only thing I've ever written that just will always make me laugh, you know? It doesn't matter like how long it's been since I've read it. I just pick it up and remember things and start laughing. So it's going to be a little weird to read it to silence, but I am just going to hope that people are laughing as I'm reading it. And so I moved in like June or July of 2008, and this zine is a whole year of meeting minutes every Sunday. And the meeting minutes I'm going to read now are from July 12th, 2009, towards the end of that year. And I moved to San Francisco, still really, really sick. Don't ask me why I decided to do that. And so this is kind of towards the end of me living with my parents.
Hey, Martha.
Yeah.
Would you like people to unmute and laugh at your really great zine?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So everyone who wants to, go ahead and unmute unless you have any kind of significant background noise that might disrupt the reading, in which case we know that you're laughing. But yeah, if you'd like to unmute and laugh at Martha's really good zine, please do that.
Thank you, Sabine. That makes me feel less bashful. I don't have to ask myself. July 12th, 2009. 1. I just want to apologize for all this art crap here, I say, pointing at the boxes of art supplies on the coffee table and the floor of the living room. 2. Mom and Dad start talking about Mom's new computer that just froze up. Dad suggests she buy a new computer instead of buying a used or refurbished one again. I would gladly go buy a new one in a second, says Mom, but it's gonna cost me. I realize this is important, says Sarah, but do we need to talk about this at the meeting? It's gonna cost at least $200 more than a used computer, Mom goes on. Mom, you sound sick, says Rachel. I know, and I got it from him, Mom points at Dad. 3, Mikey points out that before anyone accuses him of having no chores or doing anything around the house, that they realize that he will do what people ask if they ask him to do it right now. Like, if you ask me, will you help some lady move and get 2 friends of yours to help on such and such a day, then you have to remind me the day of, not a couple days before. I forget. I point out that Mikey says this, but oftentimes when I do ask him to do something right now, he says no. Well, maybe I'm in the middle of something, says Mike. Well, I don't understand what you're saying. It doesn't make any sense, I say. I don't know why you're getting so defensive, Martha. I'm just telling you how I am. If anyone is an expert on me, it's me, right? Mom raises her hand. I know something that none of the rest of you know, so you have to listen to me. What? Have any of you read Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus? You've brought that up before, I say. Look, I'm just trying to treat you how I want to be treated. If you ask me to do something the day of, well, I've already made plans by that time. I'm not that way, says Mike. Don't ask me ahead of time. If you ask me that day, I'll do it. Will you clean the bathrooms? Asked Rachel. When? Asked Mike. Today. I'll clean that one, says Mike, pointing to the hallway. Hey, why are you letting her steamroll you into doing her chore? Simone wants Because he has to maintain his position, says Rachel. Rachel and I laugh. 4. It was my day to clean the kitchen yesterday, says Mom, and I didn't do it. Wait, I thought you and Simone switched, says Sarah. We switched and then you and I switched, says Simone. Whose day is it today? Asks Sarah. It's Simone's day, says Mom. Don't try and shove the kitchen on your mom, says Dad. She has a lot of stuff on her plate. Mike, stay out of it, says Mom. Simone and Sarah will clean the kitchen. 5, I ask Rachel if she wants to take a scenic route down to San Francisco. Sure, she says. Dad expresses concern that we won't be able to move into my new apartment without help. Sarah says that Rachel is pretty strong and that as women, we are used to asking for help. I assure Dad that we will be fine. 6, Mom wants to know if anyone can accompany her to Salem to get her computer fixed. We are all busy. 7, why are there so many phones on that chair? Dad wants to know. Mom gets up and starts disconnecting one of the old phones from its wires. Look, I know that phone was only $1, but do we really need that many phones? Asked Dad. I don't answer that phone because there isn't any caller ID, says Sarah. None of you answer the phone, says Mom. You never answer the phone. I was just trying to reach your dad yesterday. He didn't answer his cell, and I had just left the house. There were 5 people here, and none of you answered the phone. I was sleeping, says Dad. I never answered the phone unless it's you or Dad, says Simone. Or Grandma, says Sarah. Yeah, or Grandma, says Simone. What are these wires? Mom asked, pointing at 2 wires coming out of the back of the phone. Those are like those things that lobsters have, says Dad. 19. 1. Mom brings in a Tupperware container of blueberries. Where did those come from? Asked Sarah. From our garden, says Dad. Garden, I say. 2. Mom starts off the meeting by showing us 3 empty beer bottles and a used match. I thought there was nothing worse than cigarette butts in the yard, but I actually hate this worse. Beer bottles all over the property, and they're full of cigarette butts. Mom holds them up. 3. Dad points at Mike. You're getting back on the boat in October. He points at Rachel. You're moving down to Eugene in September. He points at me. You're moving out on the 29th. We nod. I know you guys aren't going to like this, but if any of you move back in, you will move back in as non-smokers. Not just no smoking at home, but you cannot be a smoker and live here. Okay, I say. That's perfectly reasonable, says Mike. 4, I ask Mom if she has anything else to add. There are flowers growing in the lawn, she says. That means the lawn hasn't been mowed for a long time. 5, yeah, says Sarah. These 3 haven't been doing their chores. She points at Mike, Dad, and Rachel. Dad looks at Mike. Are you going to mow the lawn today? Yeah, after a nap, Mike says. I didn't do my chore last week, says Rachel, or the week before. I've only done my chore once, says Dad. Yeah, I haven't wanted to nag you about it since you work every weekend and are so tired, I say. I'll help you do it, Dad, says Sarah. 6, I tell everyone that I will be having friends over for a dinner on Friday. I also remind them that I'll be compiling all the meeting minutes to put them together for a zine, And I want all your input, I say, 200 words. It could be reflective about what this year has meant for you, or it could be something stupid and irrelevant, whatever you want. Only Mikey's will be stupid and irrelevant, says Simone. Simone, it's good to hear you chime in, says Mom. That was a left-handed compliment if I ever heard one, says Dad. Well, isn't that what family meetings are all about, making jabs at each other, asks Mom. Yeah, screw you all, says Mike and laughs. 7, Sarah gets up and walks away. 8, is it over, asks Mike. I'm going back to bed. Good, I say, you're grouchy. No, you guys are all grouchy, says Mike. July 27th, 2009. Zoe spent the night. That's another one of my sisters. 1, Dad starts off the meeting by telling Zoe what beautiful white legs she has. We all have pretty white legs, says Sarah. Let's see the boys' legs, says Mom. And doesn't respond. 2, Zoe tells me that the Steenson girls read the family meeting minutes on my blog. I'm going to read my blog after I move, I say. Yeah, who's going to do the minutes after you leave, asks Mom. No one does them as well as you, says Rachel. You always remember everything. I always forget what we talk about at the meeting, says Dad. I think that's pretty obvious, I say. 3, Sarah asks who left all the dirty laundry all over the bathroom floor. Oh, I guess that was me, Mom says. 4, Sarah also wants to know who will do my chores after I move to San Francisco. It's decided that Rachel will do the kitchen after I move out. And then I won't have to do the bathroom, she says. You don't do them anyway, says Sarah. I did them a couple of times, and then I forgot until you reminded me. 5, Mom gets up and starts to go through the drawer in the buffet. She pulls out an outdoor thermometer. Look at where this was, she says. Is the meeting over, I ask? I want all of your opinions on the minutes over the last year, what you think about it, etc. Just email me, 200 words. Sarah says that she needs a deadline. Okay, the deadline is the end of August. 6, Mom has pulled the contents of the buffet drawer out onto the table and has left the room. Is the meeting over, I ask? Where did Mom go? Dad looks down at the coffee table. I know I had something I was really upset about that I wanted to bring up. Now I can't remember. Oh well, I guess it's not that important.
Woo!
Thank you.
Martha, were you also going to read another piece?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, cool.
I just wanted to show, this is my latest zine that I was going to debut at the Zine Symposium.
Cool.
How to Survive the Portland Winter, illustrated by our very own Liz Yerby.
Woo!
So, if anyone wants to buy it in the fall or now, just to prepare yourself, this is it.
Okay. We have time if you want to share a little excerpt, but no pressure.
No, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That was hilarious. And it was really nice to hear everyone laugh together. I need it personally. Cool. Last but not least, we have Eileen Chavez. Eileen uses they, them pronouns. They're an alternative comics artist formerly based out of Portland, but they're now in Chicago. They make art about navigating heavy emotional states, channeling feelings, and healing from trauma. Welcome, Eileen.
Hi, I'm Eileen. Just wanted to say real fast, I live in Chicago now. Do a land acknowledgement. I live on the ancestral homelands of the Council of the Three Fires, the Ojibwa, Ottawa, and Potawatomi tribes. And also Chicago is a place of trade with many other tribes, including the Ho-Chunk, Miami, Anoka, Menominee, and Sauk and Fox. So yeah, I'm gonna do a reading and share my screen now. Let's see here. So screen share, do this. It's not full, is it? Here we go.
No, not yet.
How's that look?
Perfect.
That's good.
Okay. I also have some sound, so give a thumbs up if you can hear it. Okay, sweet. Okay. 8:16 p.m. Sunset on my roof reminds me of home. Stucco roof and warm light filtered through the pine leaves. Time travel is easy if you have a second to try it out. Old time in this direction. Bad flower bed memory. Charm memory bracelet. Here, an old time. Remembering to look through the window. Are they accessible? They're all the memories wiggling around in there. There's so many to choose from. Maybe this one? Or there's a lot inside this guy over here. There's more memories in the memory charm bracelet. Squish them into smooth pebble pocket memory. Or sprouting spaghetti neurons. Synapse explosion. Transmits energy emotion. Yourself as your parents. As your past homes. As the earth their toes squished inside. As the sunlight that warmed the soil from within. How do I connect with my lost roots? Watching things grow in my backyard reminds me that life is still abundant during a time of mass death. It's also surreal. I feel incredibly conflicted. Digging weeds out of my garden, I think about pulling at the roots of white supremacy. I access my anger and rip into the earth. This is me weeding all the weeds inside me. Try to weed my mind as I go. Take out any toxic things planted from 29 years of capitalism. Plants that are strangling other seeds trying to grow. This is an activity. If you want to, you can go outside. Thinking like in your back or front side yard. If you don't want to do that, you can also find a plant or like Google image search one or something. Or just think about one of your favorite plants. And I'm gonna go outside so you can come with me. I'll show you my backyard that I've been weeding. So as you're thinking about that plant, think about its roots. If you can, maybe pull weed out of the ground, dig your fingers into the soil. Get a little bit of wind out here. And just kind of like imagine yourself in that plant, you know, like crawl into it. Just crawl up in there. And then if you can, maybe like lie down, close your eyes, think about what's inside of you and what kind of landscape you're growing. Are there weeds in there? Is it overgrown or barren? What kinds of things are growing? Think about what you might want to plant or get rid of. Take a deep breath in and imagine it's pure sunlight coming in, feeding your plants. Maybe plant a little stuff in there too. And when you're ready, you can start to crawl out of there. Drink some water. feed your inner world and treat yourself nicely. That's the end of the reading. And then I also have another one if there's time, but it's hard for me to keep track of time in this time reading.
I think we should call it there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you so much, Eileen.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
wanted to tell you that in the chat, one of our participants was already outside pulling weeds.
Yes.
Wow.
Perfect. Oops. I love that.
Thank you, Eileen. Cool. Since we're going to call it, I just want to thank everyone. Yeah, it's really special to be able to gather together still, even though we can't do it IRL. And yeah, it's really special to be able to have folks from outside of Portland too. Eileen and Alex are both in Chicago, which is really cool. Yeah, check out the IPRC if you'd like, if you're not familiar with us. And our website is iprc.org. And then the Zine Fest still has really great programming for the rest of the day. Their Instagram is pdx_zines. They have their schedule up and it'll be a lot of fun. Thank you all so much. And I think Sabine was really great and put in the chat box all of the readers' info so you can find them too.
I'm just uploading the links now, so be sure to grab them before you head out. Thank you so much to all the readers and to the IPRC for putting this together, and me for all your hard work. It was really lovely to hear from all of you.
Yeah, what a great hellection of readers too. It was nice. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank
day,
you so much.
everyone.
Lots of nice thank yous coming in the chat, so thanks readers and a lot of our participants. Bye y'all, thank you very much.
Bye. So fun. Bye.
Take care.
Thank you, Sabine.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Me and Sabine and BB.
How do I end this meeting?
Bye, Sabine.
Oh man, I did so good up to this
You
point.
did great. There's a red leave button in the
Oh,
corner on the right.
okay. Bye.
Bye. I don't want to leave.